Welcome back, UNC gamers, for our last Gold Division and last recap in general between Pratham and Ken. Our last recap for the main season. After this, I'll probably do my first set of, well, I shouldn't say my, people are going to be helping me, but we'll do our first set of playoffs recaps. I usually just breeze over playoffs because that's usually end of semester, people are busier. And it's just, whatever, I don't feel like doing it. I'm burnt out from the main season, to be honest. Or having to compete in playoffs. But, I will try this time. We will try. But yes, this was our last main season recap between Ken and Pratham. I chose this because Ken didn't get a recap, apparently. But to be fair, I feel like a lot of his games were iffy, where his first one was a huge stall fest that would have taken like 40 minutes to cover. We had another one where there was a rule-breaking moment that reversed the results of the game. And the other two, I think, were just more stomps for him. I guess the one against me wasn't bad, but I didn't want to comment on my own game this season, I think. I just wanted to avoid that. Yeah, so this was a good game to go to. I think this is his most interesting game of the season. Anyway, so it all works out, doesn't it, Ken? Come on. Well, Squeaky Wheel gets duel, I guess, because he just kind of complained that he didn't get any, and I was like, oh, okay, fine, I'll do one. Alright, let's get started. Got Pratham and Ken. Ken's got a great team. I don't like Pratham's team that much. Like, it doesn't have that much defensive cohesion for the Pokemon it's using. But, I think he's a good player, and they're still good mons, so I think he finds a way to make it work. Rome's an interesting lead. If there's against Lopunny, he goes right for a switch, which makes sense because Lopunny's much faster, can get a U-turn on it. But Ken also goes for a switch. I think he might have been fearing the Choice Scarf Rotom, which makes sense, right? A Leaf Storm or Volt Switch can hit Lopunny very hard off the bat, so that makes sense. Weezing goes for the Will-O-Wisp, obviously, maybe expecting a switch, or just kind of feeling out what Dragalge will do, probably, because Burn is not very useful on Dragalge as a special attacker. I might have gone for Strange Steam, but yeah, probably is feeling it out. And also Neutralizing Gas makes it good against Dragalge, right, so probably not stay in for a turn. But I think he was just feeling out the Scald, like what it was going to lock into, because Dragapult are often choice locked, but sadly it is not choice locked, so you're probably looking at Assault Vest maybe, judging by the fact that it doesn't have recovery from Black Sludge. So yeah, that makes Pratham's life a little bit harder. But Pratham goes for the Magma Storm. Looks like he's just trying to trap Dragalge to get rid of it, which makes sense. Peter doesn't take a devastating amount from Scald. It doesn't like Scald, but it doesn't take a devastating amount. However, Ken goes for the Flip Turn, getting right out of there. Very good for Ken there. Ken goes for Lopunny. Probably going to try to abuse Heatran with the close combat, push Pratham to switch in. Pratham doesn't really have great switch ins for Lopunny. Weezing is his only one, and maybe Duosion, but Duosion doesn't let U-turn, and Weezing can't hold against Return for long, which is legal in our league for some reason. I mean, Return and Frustration are generally fine, it's just that with U-turn and Return, Lopunny got really annoying. It got really bad, so maybe next season we will look at, maybe not banning Lopunny, but maybe, I don't want to ban Return and Frustration, because they're pretty much balanced and everything else, but, I feel like something needs to be done about Lopunny and just ban U-turn on it, because whatever. It's such a free momentum on, it's insane. I have another league right now, it's like, whoa. Anyway, yeah, Lopunny was obviously reading the switch against Heatran. Pratham made the very ballsy, respectable play of staying in and just taking that U-turn like a champ, especially if that's Flame Body Heatran is fishing for burns. That's nice, though obviously probably needs to be Flash Fire too, so it can take on Typhlosion. Typhlosion goes for Zemu. I imagine we're going to see Z Ground or Z Fighting. Z Ground, thankfully, Heatran protected, took that. Heat Protect is doing a lot of great work for Heatran here. As it always does. The fact that he hasn't, Pratham hasn't Stealth Rocks yet makes me think that's no Stealth Rocks and that Heatran, even if I didn't know Pratham sets coming into this. But to be fair, most have gotten them by now. Nice read on the Earthquake. Pratham is just on point with the reads this game, and that's what I think I don't like about his team, is that its defensive backbone is poor in a way where he needs to make these crazy reads every turn, otherwise he's going to get blown the fuck out. And he's had two already, but it hasn't really earned him that much momentum, sadly, because that's just how, from the back, this team has to play. Takes the Flamethrower excellently, and it's like awesome, but now he's taking Earthquake, which I don't know if Heatran can, or he's just getting into the read game again. Maybe he's going to go back to Rotom and try to land a Thunderbolt, but this is like very stressful, especially because he's not playing against Ken, doesn't have much stuff choice locked. If Ken had more stuff choice locked, this would be a cinch for Pratham, at least with the Pokemon he's stealing Typhlosion and Dragalge, because he could just get the Protect, okay, this is what I need to be immune to, and then go to it. Because if you see Earthquake go Rotom, we see Fire moves stay in. but sadly he just can't make the... Thankfully he does take the Earthquake. That takes a lot of pressure off. Imagine he can kill back with Earth Power. So Pratham does claim the first blood. Oh wait, hold on a second. It's Toxic, sadly. Okay. I get running Toxic, but it's things like Jellicent and Deoxys here, right? It's a bit unfortunate to have Earth Power in this situation. I think that's one interesting thing that's happened with Ken this season, where his team is full of much better mons than Typhlosion, but he tends to bring Typhlosion every week, which can be good just for the mix-up factor, people not being ready for a choice explosion. I mean, not explosion, eruption. So yeah, good on Ken there. But at least Heatran took the Earthquake, which kind of reveals the flawed nature of Typhlosion as well, because if the Heatran was Earth Power, then it could have just taken it out right then and there, despite it having a Z move and perfect like Earthquake, but like it still couldn't do it. I love Typhlosion though, so I'm glad to see Ken putting it to good use. Love me some Typhlosion. Heatran barely takes that Dragon Ball. Heatran has taken so much abuse this game. I feel so bad, and he still hasn't gotten a kill. I feel so bad for Heatran here. But Pratham is playing it really well. It's just that Heatran only has so much time on this Earth. It's almost a shame it wasn't, I guess not Resto Chesto, because the leftovers have been doing a lot of work from Time Protect. But yeah, I think Earth Power may have been the call here, looking at it. I don't know what that fourth slot is. Maybe Magma Storm, Protect, Toxic, Earth Power. To be fair, maybe he was expecting a switch against Typhlosion when he went for Toxic, but I really think this and not having Earth Power is too bad. I'm sure he had something else that made sense, though. Maybe Taunt, so he could trap Florges, but Florges didn't come, sadly. So yeah. Too bad there, because Earth Power could have netted him not only killing Typhlosion, but he could have been getting big chip against it, or even taking out Dragalge potentially there, which is really too bad. Ambipom comes in. Let's see what it can do. Ambipom has a lot of coverage, so it kind of depends on what Pratham elected to run. Ken sends out Deoxys Defense, nice and bulky, can take a hit, no problem, but he can't, Pratham gets a nice knockoff, gets rid of those leftovers. Imagine now it can U-turn maybe, just get more damage, get out, force Deoxys to recover, and bring somebody in. Pratham is really on point this game, but I think, and his team is really doing what it needs to do, but at the same time, he's still kind of playing from the back a little bit, just because, well, because Heatran didn't have Earth Power, but, yeah, or at least it wasn't using it if it had it, but I'd imagine Pratham was on the ball enough to use Earth Power there if he had it. So Ken brings in Thunderous, goes right for the nasty plot, right, not fearing Devotion, which is a little foolish in the sense that Devotion does have more immediate power than one would think, but I get it since it goes for setup often, or he may even switch, which it does, so good on Ken there for reading that. Goes right for the Thunderbolt. Pratham makes a heartbreaking decision here to go for another Calm Mind, just a little too greedy. Obviously, he's not going to live another Thunderbolt since the last one did 66, this one will probably do something in the 40 range, and it's really too bad. But he switches out, so maybe you can use it later. But like, if he just went for two Psychics, he could have just taken out Thunderous then and there potentially, or at the very least a Calm Mind and a Psychic, get some great damage on him. Another heartbreaking moment in the game where Pratham properly reads the Thunderbolt, brings to this Crocodile, goes for the Scarf Stone Edge. Everything's right? Like Pratham's done everything he needs, but the RNG is just not there for him. So his excellent playing is punished by RNG, as it sometimes goes. Ambipom comes out. Faster than Thunderous, pretty good check. Ken realizes this and just gets out. Probably going to sack Deoxys now, since I imagine it can't stay up to 2 hits of whatever Ambipom's got in store, with no leftovers especially. Takes the Fake out okay, but I think a knockoff here can kill it, or a U-turn or whatever. U-turn can take it out. It sure does. Critical hit, doesn't matter. Yeah. So Pratham takes his first kill. Sadly, he's already 2 down, and he really shouldn't be 2 down. That Crocodile thing was just heartbreaking, man. And he Thunderous at full health, too. Really got off like a bandit. But that's why you got it's just there's no way around it, because I don't think Rock Slide kills Thunderous from full, so you gotta just go for Stone Edge. That's just how it is. Rotom revealing its Choice Scarf. I mean, I think he may have revealed it already, but just to be clear, yeah, he used revealed it against Typhlosion. But let's let that slow fucking Typhlosion. But goes for the Volt Switch against Thunderous. Brings out Duosion again. Thunderous not having any of it, just takes Duosion out of the game. Pratham is really running low on Pokemon. But with Dragalge this weekend, Rotom still looks really promising. With Thunderous, Typhlosion this weekend, he may have a win con because he can obviously shred through Jellicent, shred through these weaker Pokemon. He just needs to get Dragalge down a little bit more so it can die the Rotom. And then he needs to take out Lapa and just get a position where he can use a full Leaf Storm on Lapa, since that might kill it. Jellicent takes the knockoff like a champ. Ambipom goes for the U-turn. who to bring in. I suppose Rotom's the right play, right? Jellicent can't do much besides like Ice Beam, since even Toxic won't get much residual damage. Goes for Scald. No burn at least. Pratham finally got something this game. Let's see. And I imagine Rotom Volt Switch is here. Hopefully Volt Switch is here. It might not because Jellicent's so bulky, it's same recover. Goes for Toxic. That's you hate to see that. That's too bad. I think Volt Switch really was alright. That was the first, I would say, actual misplay from Pratham. I don't think there was any reason to use Toxic there when Volt Switch would just force it to recover and you can break something out and then cycle back to Rotom if you need and then make that play if you're like it's clear it's going to stall with Jellicent. Weezing comes in, neutralizing gas, thankfully saves it from the KO, but still takes a lot from that Sludge Wave, sadly. That's the power of Dragalge. Hopefully it's faster, maybe Strange Steam could finish it off. I think he has gotten to the point where Rotom can probably kill it. Or just he can kill it himself, which is excellent. So the sad point is the sad part is that Weezing had to die for that to happen, so it seems like Rotom may be out, because he can only switch in Ambipom once, and Rotom does need to be able to change his moves up a little bit to beat this team. Okay, like, if it just spams Thunderbolt, Lopunny will be able to check it, even though everything else will kneel. It's really too bad, because Pratham is like so close, but so far here, and he really played really well. Maybe if Krookodile took out the Thundurus and got that Moxie boost from the killing it with Stone Edge, and he would have just kept, and the big thing too is it would have kept Krookodile alive, right? So it's just like, it's really too bad, because Krookodile could also just sweep excellently here. Not even sweep, but like maybe start killing things with dark moves, then force Lopunny to take some damage from that dark move, and then guess what, Rotom can sweep the Thunderbolt. So Pratham got really close, his prep was impeccable, and I don't want to sound like I'm shortchanging Ken. Ken did exactly what he needed to do, but it's just a shame to see such impeccable plays coming from Pratham. And that unfortunate Stone Edge miss. And even then, like the plays weren't saving him to start with, but he finally got himself in a position with Stone Edge where he could win, and it just, the whole game got set back even harder for him. But it's respectable that he got even this far. Rotom, I was kind of rambling there. So yeah, Typhlosion took out Rotom. Why? Wait, how did that happen? So, because Ambipom U-turned into the... That was... Okay, Pratham, I think once... To be fair, once the game's already this far gone, I don't blame Pratham for choking, but, like, there was no reason to U-turn on the Typhlosion. Right, he should have just attacked it, because if he had, even if it doesn't have a normal move, just, like, knock off or something will do okay damage. And Rotom is the one who's winning you the game. Maybe if you crit Lopunny with a Thunderbolt here, and you just keep clicking Thunderbolt, you can win. So, that was a waste of a potential out for a win. Or you could paralyze Lopunny and get a full Paras. That's a little extract. But, yeah, that's too bad there. So that would say that's Pratham's only big misplay I could spot. Only big miss purpose time with power on Heatran. Ken, on the other hand, really did everything he needed to. I'm not saying he would have won without the Stone Edge miss. I don't know. That I'm not going to get hypotheticals there because that's like a whole can of worms. I'm just going to say Pratham. We'd have a much more interesting game if that happened. But Ken definitely did what he needed to do from that point and made sure he locked down victory. Made some misplays with Typhlosion, but that's just how it is when you spoke with Typhlosion. Your opponent has like a Levitate and a Flash Fire, where it's like, well, what move do you fucking use? I don't know. He kind of used Deoxys just to sack it, but I think that was honestly the right play. He clearly didn't need it. He didn't need hazards. Pratham's team isn't really bulky enough for it. You need hazards to wear it down. So I think him just using Deoxys as a damage sponge against Ambipom was smart, because if he tried to read, then he could have gotten himself into a worse position with some of his Pokemon. Certainly Jellicent would be one like that if he just went for Jellicent every time instead of Deoxys. And I think Jellicent was more important. Or maybe not. Maybe that was a mistake, actually, because thinking about it, Jellicent is the one who at 60% dies to Thunderbolt. Deoxys 60% wouldn't be dying to Thunderbolt from Rotom, so that would have given Ken a better out if Pratham was playing more to the Rotom in the end. But great game, fantastic game. I love to see good games between good players, and that's what this was. Perhaps this might be one of the best games of the season, just in terms of really the skill demonstrated on both sides. But shame about the RNG. I would have liked to see the game without the Stone Edge miss, how that progresses. But there were still mistakes, right? Pratham definitely played his Duosion wrong. I think Ken could have played, obviously, read better with Typhlosion and could have done something better with the Deoxys Jellicent option, perhaps. But generally, very good moves from both players. Just on point every turn. Fun to watch, and I hope this is the kind of caliber of game we can look forward to in playoffs. This is really what Draft League is all about. These kind of, these top-tier plays using better Pokemon like Mega Lopunny or Ambipom. I do think it's funny just looking at it now, like how much stronger Ken's team on the whole is than Pratham's. Like, Pratham's team's really not that. But respect to Pratham for getting this far. He did not make playoffs, sadly, but respect. He's a great player, and I hope that next season he can do better, because he's one of my favorite players at this point from the way he can just pull such great plays and reads. And Ken, I also wish success in playoffs. He did make it because he has always been one of our best players, but always gets playoffs robbed from him, from bad luck or something else. it's always slipped away from him, so maybe he can grab it this time. Alright. Catch you guys for our playoffs content.